All right, so today let's dive into a little bit of what's happening both with stablecoins and take a look at the market in general. I think you guys will like it. It's going to get into some interesting insights. We'll also reveal something there at the end that you don't want to miss. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into Tech Path. All right, so let's get into it. Before we get started, I want to thank our sponsor, and that is iTrust Capital. If you guys are looking at long-term holding, this is the place you can do it. And if it's a crypto IRA, this is one of the best places out there to go. And a couple of reasons why. 7 billion in transactions, 200,000 accounts out there. And if you are doing tax planning and things like that, of course, you should always talk to your tax planner, but IRAs are one of the best ways to go. Check out iTrust Capital. Use our link down below for a $100 funding reward to get started. All right, so let's do a couple of coverages here. I want to jump over to Ron Hammond from the Blockchain Association. This week in Congress and crypto, busier week in DC shutdown looming on Friday. Hearings with various bank regulators in both Senate and House, and a major focus on crypto in relation to the Hamas activity. So we're going to continue to get a little bit of FUD from Congress in reference to activities around crypto usage and all that. And I think, of course, that will be dispelled easily. Ron goes into a lot throughout his tweet storm right here, getting into the Senate banking hearing with the OCC, FDIC, and the Fed. Some other things going on there. They're talking about having the prudential regulators, et cetera, all of that happening on their financial committee around illicit finance. This is in reference to Hamas and Iran. So if you guys want to catch a little bit more about what Ron's talking about, make sure and follow him on Twitter. Interesting. Just wanted to bring that up to you guys to give you kind of a heads up of what's happening in DC right now. Another thing that is happening right here, JP Morgan reports doubts about Bitcoin ETF effects on Bitcoin. Now, there's a couple of arguments here, and we just did a show that probably will come out after this, but we did a show with a financial advisor, and I asked him point blank, you think, and are you getting inquiries from your own customers around the Bitcoin ETF? His answer was very surprising, and that was no. So question right here, ETFs in Canada and Europe did not attract much interest, so JP Morgan questions if the US ETFs will be different. They also say legal losses for the SEC won't necessarily make crypto rules any looser. I think that is true to a certain extent, but I would argue that there's still enough of a difference between the two markets, or three markets really, if you look at Canada, the US, and even in Europe. The US has a completely different, I think, attraction when it comes to not only the investment, the institution side of it. And we actually went through this in the video I'll do talking about Bitcoin tomorrow, is where would be the potentials of where ETFs could get exposure. And a lot of it may come from places you don't necessarily expect versus just a regular spot ETF. So we'll break into that. Love to get you guys' feedback, whether or not you think the spot ETF is going to move or continue to move Bitcoin, or are we seeing this Bitcoin run on kind of buying the rumor and then selling the news? Is that how you're playing it? Let me know. A couple other things while all of that's happening. Tokenized Treasuries is continuing to fly, now over 770 million right now. Current average yield to maturity of 5.24. And you can kind of see the activity there. Obviously, is Franklin Templeton pretty much running most of the market, obviously riding on ETH, Polygon, Solana, etc. Tokenized securities, they're coming. And they're coming in a big way. I think a lot of people are not necessarily ready for this and may not even know about it, because this story that I'm getting ready to reveal to you guys is not getting a lot of traction. And what it means is some pretty big deals in reference to what will happen with stablecoin, but in reference to securities and tokenized securities for that matter. Meet Midas, new yield-bearing stablecoin investing in US Treasuries. A couple of points right here I want to hit on. Midas is a stablecoin backed by US Treasuries, planning to unleash its sTUSD token. And this will be coming up on platforms like Maker, Uniswap, and Aave in the coming weeks. So now you're going to be looking at a potential stablecoin within the DeFi market that is going to have the capacity to gain yield. That's the big difference. We've been waiting for this on a lot of different capacities, a lot through exchanges, things of that nature. Now in DeFi, it's here. So a big one. Midas stablecoin project intends to buy treasuries via asset manager BlackRock, and then use Circle Financial's USDC stablecoin as the on-ramp. So when you look at that movement alone, both Circle, BlackRock, and Larry Fink actually spoke to this here recently. He had done a couple of podcast interviews, and he was very specific about where this was going in terms of tokenized securities, but more importantly, around what stablecoins and what role they would play. Yields are going to be offered by assets in traditional finance, like US Treasuries currently exceed yields on conventional DeFi products. Okay. But the solution, as Midas presentation deck states, is that the tokenizing TradFi products, so they'll be available in the DeFi ecosystem. This, though it may not be equivalent, I think the fact that this is going to be an option will be absolutely huge. And one of the things that you should probably pay attention to is obviously Uniswap. Uniswap could be one of the early winners here. And if you look at just Uniswap's price, this is their all-time. You can kind of see Uniswap has taken a lot off the edge there. And even if you look at the market cap, also very low. I'll go here to the 1 month just to show you what kind of movement Uniswap has had both in market cap and also in price action. So are there a little bit of front running right now as to what's going to happen with Midas out there around Uniswap? Taking a look at USDC, a little bit of action here. This is the all-time here on market cap for USDC. Let me take a look real quick on Tether as well. Give you guys kind of a comparison because it's a little different comparison on all-time with Tether and right there in the market cap. So some people have said, that maybe some of this is in the altcoin market, or maybe is it in something that we're going to start to see in terms of yield products and DeFi for stablecoins. All of that could be lining up. And if you look at this last story, Tether issued 4 billion USDT tokens in a month, fueling market speculation around this. So this could be a little bit of the early stages of what we could see around these kinds of strategies. Last up here, stablecoin issuer Circle is now considering going IPO in early 2024. And if you think about this right here, it's reportedly in talks with its advisors over an initial IPO for early 2024. This could be pretty big for them, not only in the sense that they're already seeing the writing on the wall of where this is going in terms of just the fintech assets that will be making their ways to the market, but also the future of USDC and the rest of the crypto market in general. A couple other things. I'm just looking at Uniswap on the chart right here. We're on the 4-hour. I'll go out here to the daily, kind of stretch this out a little bit, see if there's any potential price action. You can kind of see there's some potential numbers here. I mean, obviously the last resistance we saw here is around that 650 range. Then it starts to blast up to around 930. So I don't know. Are you guys interested in going into projects like that, looking at this as speculation? I'd love to get your feedback. Make sure and leave some comments down below. And also make sure and smash the like button if you like these shorts, but also very to the point episodes. Let me know. Give me some feedback. Make sure and put it down there. If you're not in the Diamond Circle, get in now. It's a great place to get additional alpha. If you guys want to catch me on X, it's @PaulBaron. Catch you next time right here on TechPath.